That's very different than environmentalism, which puts the cart before the horse, which makes it seem as though human beings exist to serve nature in some quasi-divine way, rather than merely serve it up for dinner.
So what would be a proposal that conservatives would be in favor of, or would present if you're not denying that global warming exists?
I certainly admit that temperatures rise and fall at various times, and that I suspect that of the myriad contradicting climate models that various scientists put out, one of them is possibly correct.
Okay, so if one of them is possibly correct, and if there was one way to fix that one possible correction, then what would be a proposal that conservatives would present? What would be something?
Fix it from what?
I mean,
of the temperature increasing 0.2 degrees in 100 years?
If there's a trend that may lead somewhere, then if we were to agree on that, then what
we do agree that a trend might lead somewhere, but lead to what? What is the somewhere?
I mean, increased global warming equals increased air pollution, which is...
Does it? I thought increased air pollution causes increased global warming.
Yeah, increased burning fossil fuels increases greenhouse gases.
Does it? I'm not totally sure about that, because the main graph that the left used to argue this point, the hockey stick graph, was shown to be a fraud within the last 7 or 8 years. Right, the main bit of evidence in that Al Gore movie was fell apart over the last 10 years. So is there a relationship between carbon dioxide and increased temperatures? Yeah, perhaps. I suppose so. I'm not an expert on it. My question isn't even that. I'm perfectly willing to grant that that's possibly the case, and it's even possibly from greenhouse gases emitted by humans. But what's the end game? What's the upshot? What is that going to lead to? What catastrophe do I need to craft a public policy to prevent?
What Knowles is trying to explain and share to the woman asking the questions is she wants to know what conservatives would put in place, what policies conservatives would put in place to deal with and address climate change or the concerns around it. And Knowles is like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And she tries to ask her question in different ways. And Knowles is trying to use some of the facts that have been used in the past to really alert people or scare people into buying into the whole climate change and the level of the attention that it needs. And so Knowles, is what are you talking about? What should I be concerned with? That the temperature is going to go up, 0.2% or has gone up in 0.2% in the last 100 years. So she wants to know, what policies would you put in place? So Knowles knows that the way she's asking her questions, a lot of her facts and evidence and information's coming from Al Gore's documentary that he put out many years ago. And Knowles is you do know that the main evidence that Al Gore used in his documentary about climate change and what was going to happen to the earth all fell apart. And it's not even credible to reference back to his documentary anymore. Knowles is just trying to say that what is he supposed to be scared of, or what are we supposed to be scared of if all these evidence and all the statistics that are being used either fell apart or are not credible?